card. So I think this AZAM side now has a tall order, but if there's a side that knows how to get results even with one man less, then it's definitely this AZAM side. We saw them winning against YANGA in the semi-finals, with one man less. So let's just see whether they can repeat that feat today here against SIMBA.
Look at that, he felt impeded, frustrated, having gone down. Punches, the first connects, the second barely. The technical bench trying to get the fourth official to look at the screen. I don't know what screen they're looking at, but it is evidently violent conduct from where we sit. It is a straight red, difficult to fault the referee. Rules are rules. And now it's an opportunity for SIMBA to rule with the man advantage. Second red card in as many matches for this AZAM side. When it rains, it pours, and right now it is pouring for the AZAM side. They have won this competition just once before.
And as things stand, it's looking less and less likely that they will add to that tally. And for SIMBA, it is looking more and more like a reality as they look to bring it home.
Yes, it's starting to look more like reality, but they will understand very well that this is far from over. Because I'm pretty sure they were following the proceedings when AZAM played against YANGA, and they saw what YANGA can do, even with one man less. So I'm pretty sure they're not going to be deceived with the fact that they will have superiority in terms of their numbers today. They know that AZAM is a side that can turn things around. I think that's Ngamondi, the Tanzanian national team coach, following the proceedings there.
Had the pleasure of hanging out with the national team coach, Coach Michael.
Brilliant football mind as well. You'll be looking at these players with one goal in mind, and that is to find players that would fit into his national team as they prepare alongside Uganda and Kenya, Harambee Stars and Cranes, joining Taifa Stars and hosting the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations, the Pamoja bid. Everyone looking forward to it, and a lot of people believing this could be one of those Africa Cup of Nations that could be memorable. Substitution there for SIMBA. Injury. On comes Anthony. Anthony Richard Mugo. Off goes Nixon.
Baada ya Lusajo kugangwa pale na kukaa sawa. Lusajo Mwekenda. Haya. Elimpanzu Kibisawala naye anajiweka kafiti pale. Elimpanzu Kibisawala. Jiweka sawa pale. Anakontrol mali pale, sasa anapigwa pasi chini. Anachukua kule Rushindirek. Angalia penani mali pale Rushindirek, sasa anapiga mrefu juu kule. Anasogea pole Nixon Clement Kibabage, piga cross yake ndani kule, anapoteza pale, anagusa ni pale Jafte Kitambala, bola anaondoka, bola anatembea Kibabage anasogea, Kibabage Rushindireka ameshasogea juu pale, Rushindireka amefika, amechukua kiurahisi kabisa. Neo Mema amemgongesha vibaya, Neo Mema leo kama vile atake kabisa mchafuka, anagusa rachia pale. Azam sasa, Pascal Msindo anacheza na Idi Nado. Nado anacheza na Pascal Msindo. Ananiwa pale wauza sema tuondoke kule, Idi Nado tena. Nado piga pasi juu kule, sasa chukua Himidi Mao Mkami. Anapiga pasi juu kule, sasa Pinole. Anacheza na Lusajo Mwekenda. Anagalia penani, piga pasi chini kule sasa. Ile pale ni mtaalam kabisa la Meklawi. Faisal Salum Feito anaondoka, Feito amepigwa kiatu na Yusuf Kagoma. Mwamuzi bado hajatoa kadi mpaka sasa. Mwamuzi bado hajatoa kadi mpaka sasa. Faisal alilambwa kiatu na Yusuf Kagoma. Kagoma aliingia wangu pale, alistahili kali ya njano kabisa pale Yusuf Kagoma. Mwamuzi anasema leo yuko fair, leo atoe kadi. Dakika 39, Faisal yuko nyuma ya boli, ni foul eneo zuri. Faisal kana kula pasi, gonga kichwa kule, chupu watu wawekwe ndani pale. Kwa goal kick.
Alusema Sopo alipanda kagonga kichwa kile.
Simba tafa makosa pale. Yusuf Kagoma alifika pale akagonga kichwa kile maridadi sana. Nizungumza mambo mengine hapa. Mnyama aliruhusu Sopo akapanda hewani. Nafasi tena Faisal Salu. Amenyang'anya na Chama Club, Chama amenyang'anya ile pale. Elimpanzara preko chini, mwamuzi anasema ni foul. Hakuna kadi pale. Mwamuzi anasema weka hapo chini. Bado Azam anacheza foul 10-3 ya Simba. Adisetu anapiga kile ushindi direct, sasa na control mpira ule pale. Rashid direct anapiga pasi ile. Ngoma ile pale kwa Kishmailo Viature, cheza naye pale Neo Gift Maema anaangalia penalty pale sasa. Control pale chule ya Libasa tebea. Chama Clatus Chota, Chama angalia. Chama Aliseura. Angalia kule na Chama Clatus apiga nzuri kule nafasi. Elimpazo ndio kuingia ndani, kuna mtu pale. Anarusha bila mrefu juu kabisa pale. Arusha direct. Anapiga pasi chini. Ture. Basi yuko chini.
Simba gaining from that own goal, followed up with a red card for violent conduct for Faisal Salum Abdallah. Added numbers into that midfield. And jersey number 5 right here, all the way on the right side, but Mendoza decides to go back to that left flank, trying to pry this Simba side open, decide to go long. Kitambala goes down, clutching his head, trying to get the referee to show some pity, if not understanding. The referee deciding to say, understand this, I will not be fooled. Oh, rather feisty tackle there.
I think AZAM ought to be a bit careful because they are starting to be a bit careless with the sort of tackles that are flying in. And when you're one man less, you surely don't want things to go from bad to worse. So they need to keep their emotions in check because they still have a considerable amount of time that, if used well, can yield some fruits. And when you've got a coach as experienced as Florent Ibenge, then you know that this is far from over, because all that it needs is one tactical switch and things might turn in favor of AZAM.
Kitamba flirting with a second yellow potentially from the referee, who's showing a lot of patience towards the forward, but that patience could wane and AZAM could find themselves in a bit of trouble. Derek goes long. Easily defended by AZAM, but they lose out. Quick off the block to win the ball. They just can't seem to string 5 or 6 passes together, and Simba would be happy with that all day. Oh, wiggles his way through. Has to be careful right there in that box. Manages to push the attacker back. Cross coming in, easily defended there. Now AZAM trying to get Kitambala to go through. Easily defended. Derek goes all the way back to his keeper. His keeper, again, beautiful build-up from the back, patient build-up. No pressure, no rush. We're not chasing the game. Come for the ball if you can. AZAM do, and they get it. Here we come again.
Simba just showing the quality that they've got in their ranks.
You can see even when they're being subjected to too much pressure, they don't seem to panic. They're very, very calm, still composed in their build-up. And of course making life very difficult for AZAM.
Hamid being forced to go further up that midfield. He is pretty much taking the role of Fei Toto. He'll be required to connect the forwards with the ball coming through from the back. It is Kitambala who is really cut a lonely figure at the top, running after everything, getting nothing. Frustrations for him, Kitambala, frustrations for Ibenke. What more can he do?
Well, it's true. I think Kitambala has cut a frustrated figure up front. He has been a bit isolated, and more so after the red card of Faisal Salum, the player that was supposed to probably give him close support. And now he's only left to chase those loose balls and apply a bit of pressure just to see whether he can get something out of them.
Corner comes in, easily headed away, near post. AZAM get an opportunity to resettle themselves. Back it comes with an opportunity, tries to wrap his left foot around it, always leaning back. That ball was always going forward. Couldn't get his shoulder over the ball. No threat, SIMBA with some reprieve. Thirst for Kitambala. He has run himself rugged, looking to hydrate. Not the World Cup, no hydration break here. Play on, boys, play on.
Well, definitely good play from Kitambala. He knew that he couldn't do any better in that particular instance other than try to set up one of his teammates, and he'll probably just be hoping that probably it was somebody else at the end of that and not Lusajo, because as a defender that is not a position that he normally finds himself in. So when you're in unfamiliar territory, at times you tend to fluff your lines.
Chama off. Double substitution there for the team that is currently leading 1-0. SIMBA bring on Mwalimu Abdallah Selemani. One of the two substitutions to bring some life into that midfield and forward line. Fresh pair of legs. Ooh, that is a dangerous one. Yellow card worthy. High boot. Dangerous play right there. Must have been a painful one for Mendoza. He's still on the ground. Mwalimu wondering why exactly that was given. Barker, head down, probably wondering, what are you doing? You just came home. That is a dangerous tackle.
Well, it certainly is, and I think Mwalimu is probably doing the job that he's been brought to do. Because in the last couple of minutes, David Fuentes and Elias Lawi were having too much time and space on the ball. And from the quality that these two centre-backs have in terms of their ball distribution and long passing range, then I think SIMBA was starting to feel a bit of pressure and the threat that those two centre-backs possess in terms of playing the balls forward.
Confusion between the SIMBA pair, but easily picked up. SIMBA with an opportunity to push the ball further forward. Plenty of them in the fray there. Maema, one of them, goes back to Derek. SIMBA decide to go down the next flank, the opposite flank. Slow, patient build-up, no rush whatsoever. Kagoma finally coming into this particular game. We've seen for this AZAM side, Mao Mkami further up here, and Kagoma will have some interesting battles. We'll keep an eye on that midfield as the two will be coming together quite often. Alimu looking for space, looking to break up play, as you pointed out. It's quite an advantage to come on when your team is leading 1-0 and a man up.
Absolutely, you always have enough motivation to keep working, to keep pushing, because you know that there's something to protect, and that's exactly what Mwalimu is doing to those two centre-backs. You can see that ever since he came on, they've not had as much time as they were having before on the ball.
And when you disrupt their build-up from the back, then you can rest assured that their attacks are not going to be meaningful.
AZAM looking for a meaningful attack themselves. Slow, patient build-up, nothing being given to them. A lofted ball, here we go. Sets it off for Kitambala, takes a strike. Just wide, easy. No problem whatsoever. Jibrila doesn't even dive, just sees that one out. A rather tired effort, and you can see from Kitambala's body language, he is cutting a tired figure. Yet, with 6 minutes of regulation time to go, Ibenge, AZAM teammates, AZAM fans are hoping he can stay on and hoping that somehow he can come up with a goal that would send this into extra time, something that they managed against SIMBA's arch rivals in the semi-finals. A rather tough route to the final, and it just got tougher. 1-0 down, a red card. AZAM desperate for a good result. Opportunities few and far between. And now they might just have to switch from attack to defend, and that's exactly what they'll have to do. Oh, he'll question himself there. Could have been a better ball, but instead it finds AZAM wingers. Now they have an opportunity yet again to come in from a set piece. They'll be hoping for much better delivery. Looks like Hamisi Suleiman is the one who will be standing over this one. He's frustrated. Every single player on AZAM more focused on giving the referee an earful than on looking for the goal, which they desperately need.
Yeah, definitely they need to concentrate a little bit more because time seems to be going by really fast. So concentrating on the referee is not going to help much.
Ball comes flying in. Derek clears it. Mwalimu on it. AZAM players desperately trying to get back. You can see some heavy legs. Through ball. Oh, if he had gotten onto that one, he will be looking at that one and thinking, Maema thinking this could have been a great opportunity. He had a run coming down his right, I think it was Libase, but it just couldn't get his foot to the ball.
Maema definitely made a very good run, and he was just a second late in getting onto that particular ball, which probably would have seen him clear on goal, and maybe that would have given the SIMBA side the second goal that probably would have buried this game.
SIMBA dealing with this easily, as they have been doing throughout the course of this particular game. Just cutting off the supply for the two fours. No space to look up and pass that ball. Swarming, chasing every ball. You'd be thinking they're chasing the game, playing like they are the ones who are trailing 1-0. Oh, great delivery. Didn't expect it to come to him. He just stood there, almost stunned that it got to him. John Jacks, Kamanga, and Gita paired up with Kitamba up front.
John Jacks just needed a better touch, and that probably would have been the golden opportunity that would have changed things in favor of AZAM today.
AZAM coming back at them, desperately trying to find a way through this one. Abdul Hamisi gives up play, and now Mwalimu with an opportunity shoved off. Referee decides that Lawi has fouled. Mwalimu tells him to calm down. No further action. Lawi's facial expression tells you everything you need to know about this particular game. Just frustratingly shoving him from behind. He did not want to take a gamble.
Lawi definitely didn't need to do that because Mwalimu was not dangerous at all. He had his back towards AZAM's goal. All he needed to do is just put pressure, put a bit of pressure, probably hoping that at some point you're going to get an opportunity to get the ball from him, because he did not have enough support. But by giving them this opportunity, This helps Simba to run down the clock a bit more.
SIMBA coming at them with the substitute Richard Mugo, running down that left flank, trying to find some space. Barker barking commands to them as the final minutes to this game dwindle away, lost for words, deep in thought. Benge will be wondering what else can be done, what his team can pull out of the box. A rabbit out of the hat is what they will need to do. Edie will need... Oh, from behind, he goes through his back. Some cutting
the referee is
more.
letting a lot pass right now, because there was another opportunity where he probably would have brought the ball back and given a yellow card to a Simba player that seemed to pull an AZAM player that was charging forward, just trying to exploit the spaces that had been left behind by the Simba team.
James Akaminko, the man with fresh legs, trying to run at this Simba side, who have been resilient, well disciplined. But now Kitambala finds some way. Derek desperately trying to cover, manages to put a foot to it, sends the ball harmlessly wide. Kitambala just wondering what more he has to do. Out of breath, running out of time.
Yes,
Desperate,
definitely
desperate for an opportunity here to bring them level yet again. But it is Simba who are looking at that clock and seeing 5 minutes standing between themselves and what they would consider destiny. And that is the goal. Yaya losing his footing, comes off him, back of the net. The look on his face is one mixture of frustrations, disappointment, heartbreak, responsibility. I can only imagine what's going through his mind. You can only imagine what's going through the players' minds right now. They will be aware that time is running out. Simba still coming at them right now.
Well, as Yaya ponders probably what would have been had he not touched that particular ball, I think Pascal Msindo will also be looking back at the foul that he committed and thinking that maybe ought to have done better.
Here they come again. It's a flood of red as AZAM cannot see any other color. Red when it comes to Simba coming forward. Red already for their star man, Faye Toto. But this time the yellow card going the way of the team in. White, ooh, he'll be reeling from that particular one.
Deruk, of course, is pretending to get injured, but he knows very well what he was doing. He knew that that would have been a very dangerous moment had he let that play go on. Because Kitamba had already taken off and the ball had been played on space, so that would have been a very, very dangerous attack for AZAM.
So Deruk in red sees yellow. He'll be okay with that particular one, captain in Simba side. And this is one of those rare opportunities. Perhaps one of the final opportunities in this game. They've not had very many. Simba have been resilient. A lot of pushing and shoving, as always. This time, though, Kitambala standing on his own, wanting none of the drama, just looking to cause drama. They decide to pass the ball. This time they do go long. Simba well organized. Kitambala sends it back in. Oh! It is hand offside. There we go. Assistant referee decides. Bang again. Just a touch to his head, shake of the head, a sigh, complaint, half-hearted complaint when it comes to the official decision, AZAM will be looking at that one and thinking, that could have gone our way. Ibenge probably thinking that could have been a penalty. He would definitely have wanted a penalty. That would have suited him and his side very well. The rake now gets a drink of water, magical water in Africa. A sip of water when you're injured, and somehow players get back on their feet.
I guess that's why they say water is life.
And you can see the man who saw red in the stands just watching proceedings. Fei Toto knows how much his absence has impacted this side, and he knows now with nothing to do but what you and I are doing, watching the game from a distance. He'll be hoping that somehow, against the odds, against the grain, AZAM can come up with the goods. The weight of that retaliation, that violent conduct, weighing heavily on him, weighing heavily on his coach, weighing heavily on AZAM as well. Just under a minute to go in the CRDB Bank Federation Cup 2025-2026. Ibenge on the back foot, facing a tough loss, another 1-0 loss. Barker, the happier of the two. This just puts SIMBA in good territory. 5 games leading up to this final, conceding just once in a 3-1 win over Dodoma, Gigi. And they've managed to keep yet the 6th clean sheet as it stands to give them this title. Seconds remain. Seconds separate what started as a dream from becoming reality.
Well, that's probably the last kick of the game that we're going to see coming from Aisha Manula, and this AZAM side will understand that it's now or never, but definitely that's not how to go about it. By giving these easy fouls to SIMBA, all they're doing is helping SIMBA run down the clock, and of course disrupting their own momentum and tempo. They ought to defend a bit better, try to get the ball back, try to have an opportunity to at least launch one last attack just before the referee blows the final whistle. But all these fouls definitely doing more harm than good for this AZAM side.
AZAM's Abdul Suleiman, a man that has been playing his 2nd cup final, played against YANGA back in 2022 during his time with Coastal Union. They ended up losing that final to the Young Africans on penalties 3-3. After that draw, Abdul scoring all 3 goals for Coastal Union, by the way, in that final. Couldn't find the back of the net in this final. And quite like that 2022 final, it is yet another loss, this time at the hands of YANGA's arch rivals, SIMBA. SIMBA continuing that fine run of form. They have never lost a final match since the competition began, returned back in 2016, and it doesn't look like they will be doing so today. Won their last title back in 2021, beating YANGA 1-0 in Kigoma. Tadeo Luanga was the match winner on that day. They may not have scored today. An own goal from Yaya separating these two sides, but they won't care about finding the back of the net, chasing that golden boot top scorer title, Selemeni Mwalimu. And the referee decides that he has had enough. It is absolutely brilliant. SIMBA with the roar that sends them back to